So here we are at the very end of India. With that land, and then there are a couple of small lands beyond that. They are called as Ram Setu. We are now going to the Rameshwaram temple, and our hotel person said the parking is little far away from the temple, so it's better you go in an auto. We will drop you right at the door. So yeah, that's why right now we are in an auto. It's about 8 kilometers, but we're charging 100 rupees from hotel to temple. So yeah, we'll go there, and phone is not allowed. So probably I'll let you know about the temple after we have done the tour. Rameshwaram temple, like just now we have entered, and they have not yet asked for mobile to be kept. And there was a, you can say, service provider or agent, or I mean to whosoever you want to call. He said he can take us without standing in queue for a long. So they might have some settings, I don't know. But yeah, in this kind of a weather, we would definitely not want to stand in a queue. But let us see, if it makes sense. I'll let you know at the end if you should go for this ticket or not. We have done the first step of the temple, so that is to take bath in 22 kunds, 22 wells that they have. One good thing that we take that guide, or it is not, so that person is not actually guide. So on every kund there is a person who will pour water on you. So this person is that only. It's just that he was dedicated to us. So while others were queuing up in every kund to get the water poured on them, and I also saw some of the people like they were fighting on the kunds that water has not been poured on us, or it is very little water poured, something like that. But for us, since this was a guide, he was taking us directly to each kund, and he was pouring full bucket of water on both of us and our kid as well. So it was a good idea to hire him. So it took us little less time as well, and we could enjoy that holy water bath every time properly. So he charged us, for two of us he charged around 500 rupees. But if you will not take that guide, if you will go via queue in every kund, so that will cost you some 35 rupees per person, so 70 rupees for two people. So you can decide if you want to take that guide or not. We felt it was very nice. It was we didn't have to stand in queue and all that, right? But one thing that I was worried about, the hot and humid weather, that is not the case, since every kund they will pour water on you, right? So you will not feel that humidity or hotness. It's just that if you want to skip little bit of queue, and if you want to have proper water poured on you on every kund, that is when you can go for this kind of a service. So you will get this person at the gate of the temple. So now after taking bath, we have changed our dress, and now we are going to the darshan of the main god in the temple. So we have come back to our hotel room from the temple. You can see I'm still sweaty. So after those kunds of the taking bath into 22 kunds, we went to the main temple, and there no one can save you from the hot and humid temperature and the weather there. So we again took the services of a priest who took us directly to like in front of the queue, and showed us the temple. He talked about and explained things. So even then, even though we were not standing in queue, but still we spent 15-20 minutes there, and in that time itself we were all sweaty and hot, and then we had to carry our little kid and a bag as well. So bag for this clothes, we had taken these clothes that we can wear after the bath. So yeah, maybe you may not need the service of someone while going to the kunds and taking bath, because you will not feel the heat, but still we found it quite useful. But at least here, only if you can stand very hot and humid temperature for a very long time, waiting in the queue couple of times, then you can go ahead and take the normal queue. Otherwise, not just the fast queue ticket, along with that take the services of a priest, right? And now we have come back. We wanted to go to the Hanuman temple as well. There we have the floating stones, but we could not, because you can see what is our condition. We came back to our hotel to just relax a bit, and then after some time we'll again leave. We definitely don't want to miss those floating stones, and then we also have to visit the Ram Setu. are now leaving for Ram Setu, Dhanushkoti beach, the very end of India. That's where we are going in 30 minutes. It closes at 5 p.m. so we'll reach there at 4:30. That much time should be good enough. A very thin strip of land on which we are driving. On the right hand side this is Indian Ocean, I believe, and on the left hand side we have Bay of Bengal, and we are heading straight. See how narrow it is, just a road. It's good enough to have a road only, maybe a little bit of further space on left and right side, and that is how we are moving forward towards Dhanushkoti. So it's called as Dhanushkoti. I was thinking it's called as Dhanushkoti. And the very last point is called Arichal Monai. That's where we are heading towards. So sea is on both sides of the road. There is sea. See, there is only such a narrow strip of the land that we only have a road. Right now there is sea there and there is sea here. Not even a place for beach. I think it's just the water and there is road and then there is again water. See? Now we are about to reach the end point of India towards Sri Lanka, and that's where we will see Ram Setu. So here we are at the very end of India. Beyond this there is Ram Setu, in English people call as Adam's Bridge, and there is sea on the left hand side, sea on the right hand side. This is a very thin road which came here, and beyond this there is Ram Setu, right? And there is a small piece of land, and then there will be a couple of more pieces of land, and that is what we call as Ram Setu, right? I'll just put the camera on the back side and I'll show you. See, there is small piece of land, but we cannot go there. There is no connectivity, and this is where we can reach, right? And yeah, maybe that land, and then there are a couple of small lands beyond that. They are called as Ram Setu, and after that there will be Sri Lanka. So you can see, I guess on the left hand side it should be the water towards the Bay of Bengal. Here we are ending the land, and then on that side the sea, that would be, I guess, for the Indian Ocean, right? And if you go straight, that's Sri Lanka. So here I am touching the waters. That is at the very end of India, right? And beyond that you can see that island that you can see on Google Map as well. So that is a small island, and beyond that we cannot go, but that is where there is, Westerns call it Adam's Bridge and we call it as Ram Setu. We have now left Dhanushkoti, that end point, and now we are going back to the city, and there we have the Hanuman temple where they have kept the floating stones. This is the Hanuman temple, and inside there are floating stones. So we just now went there, and yes, there's a big stone, but they are not allowing us to take pictures and videos. So, but yeah, we saw kind of a rock, like 2 feet by 2 feet, and I think 1 feet height. So you can imagine what is the size I'm talking about. So that was floating on the water.